Welcome back to the Soviet Union. Today we are taking a train from Chișinău to Bucharest. This 14-hour Soviet sleeper train has been running almost uninterrupted for over 60 years, passing through Moldova and Romania, between Bulgaria and Russia and Ukraine in the Soviet times. We will stop at the town of Ungeni while we get jacked up with all the passengers inside and change the bogies and the wheels underneath the train, and then we'll carry on our way through the border and to Bucharest North Station. So come along for the ride. Hi everyone, welcome to the final video from Chișinău from my whole trip to Moldova. We are now leaving Chișinău in about an hour's time on a Soviet train from Chișinău Central Station. I am broken. I must have walked at least 15 miles today in 37 Celsius. I need to get on board. I need to sit down and go to sleep. It takes about 14 hours from Chișinău to Bucharest, with a stopover at the border to change the gauge of the trains, which will be an interesting experience at about 10 p.m. So just before we get to Chișinău's main railway station, only railway station, we're going to be stopping off at a little monastery called the Kuflia Monastery, literally round the corner from the train station. We should be able to see the glistening golden dome coming into view soon. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to buy a ticket or not. There were two people sat in a box at the door, but neither of them stopped me. that was the monastery, and I think that's everything that's in this compound. So I think we're pretty much done with Chișinău. Let's walk to the train station, have a scoot around there. So just around the corner from the train station is the old National Hotel building remnants. So that was the first hotel in Chișinău, built again by the Soviets. That was the Communist Party's hotel for visiting dignitaries, so they could spy on them. And then in the building that you can see in front of us, the Chișinău Hotel, apparently the rooms have been designed in a traditional Soviet style. And I was speaking to somebody I met on a tour yesterday who said it takes 15 minutes for the water in the shower to heat up. So it's definitely authentic Soviet. So the railway station is at the other side of a busy road, under this tunnel thing under the road. This monument is to the Jewish people who were deported from Moldova by the Nazis and sent to the concentration camps. And that's the first thing that people see when they come out of the train station, and the last thing people see when they leave from the train station. I think there's only one train a day from this station. Moldova Railways has had a lot of financial trouble recently. They operate the train to Bucharest, Romania, overnight, a 14-hour journey, which I am going to be taking. It's in about 2 hours time. So this seems to be two trains behind me. One's got something written in Russian, and then the other one at the very front says Chișinău Bucharesti. I am looking for wagon 4, carriage 4, but for the first time in my life I need to cross a railway, 2 tracks. Check there's nothing coming. this is old. So this is seat 41 and 45. So I booked a single cabin. So it's essentially 2 beds. That one and that one. Yeah, I don't think the power's on yet. Oh, it's so hot. So let's have a look around the room before we settle. We've got storage up here, coat rack, whatever that is. Table. More storage. Under here we have the mattress. I'll get that out later. I need to just sit down for a bit. I'll pick this video up once I've chilled. So you might have already heard of the Prietenia train, the friendship train, the one that we're on now between Chișinău and Bucharest. If you watched Eurovision in 2023, the act for Moldova sang a song about this very train. If you haven't heard it, here's a snippet. I'll include a link to the full video in the description. Just a word of warning though, that it could end up being the next earworm that you just can't get rid of from your head. It'll just keep playing and playing in your head. So here it is. So it's really hot in here. Like there's no air conditioning. There's a window that's open, but it's just blowing hot air in. I hope when we get moving it'll get some wind in. So the train in front of us is going to Kiev in Ukraine. Most of the people on the platform seem to be waiting for that train, but we are currently connected to it. So I'm assuming we're going to be disconnected. I hope I'm on the Bucharest train. I don't want to end up in Kiev. The conductor did seem a bit confused when I handed him my ticket. Well, we'll see. But yeah, this room has got a squeaky door. Is that a window? I don't know if that's a window or a mirror. If it's a window, people can see into my room while I'm asleep. But yeah, that's the door. It locks somehow. But let's keep it open for now. So the conductor has just been round and taken my ticket. I'm sure you need it at the border because they're going to have to take my passport because we're entering the EU when we enter Romania. But he's taken my ticket, so I don't have a ticket now. He's brought around my bedding, and what we've got is an eclectic mix of Soviet style meets your grandma's kitchen drawer. It's whatever the cleaning ladies have just put together in a packet. So we'll have a look through that. We've got a plug socket here which works. We've got a small light. However, what we don't have on the roof, so there's a light there. Nope. Nope. So we don't have a light. So our only light source when it's night is that tiny light here, and then one at the other side. So there won't be any lights in the corridor either, because there aren't any. This is an old East German manufactured carriage from the 1960s, and it hasn't really been updated since. We get to the border at Ungeni at about, well, it said it on the ticket, but he's taken the ticket. I think it's about 7, 8-ish, and then we're there for about 2 hours while they change the gauge of the tracks. The reason I chose to go the Chișinău to Bucharest direction is because if you go the other way, you get to the border at 4 a.m. and hopefully it'll still be light in July at this time of year to be able to see them actually changing the things, because they lift each carriage up while they change the gauges, change the wheels underneath. That's probably the only reason you'd take this train. It's one of those once in a lifetime things, unless you're Moldovan or Romanian, when this is probably a lifeline for you. But let's have a look through the linen we've got from your grandma's kitchen cupboard and see if we can go about making a bed. I need to figure out how the mattress and everything works here. I'm assuming you just lay it on the seat. It's really heavy. So we've got a smelly pillow. This mattress is really heavy. Just let me put you down a minute and I'll get hold of it. That mattress is filthy. And this room is now getting quite dark. So what do we have in our linen selection? We've got a tea towel. I'm not quite sure what that's for. We've got some kind of floral thing. What is this? Pillowcase? Still doesn't smell clean. We've got a pillow and we've got wait, where's the blanket? Is there anything else? So there's a really thick blanket up here. But we don't need that. It is going to be a really hot night. We're moving and it's getting hotter. Yeah, I'll make my bed and then I'll show you the toilet at the end of the carriage before it gets used and dirty, which it inevitably will on a sleeper train. And then I'm just going to have to chill and relax until we get to the border when the fun really happens. So I've kind of made up my bed. It's just those bits of cotton material covering the mattress base and then the pillow in a pillowcase. There's no blanket cover or anything, and what I've just seen is the cover's been stamped. I don't know what it says, but oh, and one more thing, we've now got light. Apparently the conductor on the train had forgotten to turn the light power on at the front of the carriage, so we've now got light. Let's go and check out the bathroom situation on this train. Right, so there was somebody in the bathroom. Apparently the bathroom door doesn't lock. What am I doing? So this is the toilet on this train. We've got a mirror. We've got a sink with running water. We've got that is disgusting. We've got a window in the bathroom. Toilet roll. And then we've got a disgusting toilet. And so that empties straight out onto the tracks. And there's also a hole in the bottom so I can see straight down below. Right, I'm going to do what I need to do, then get back to my cabin quickly. So usually there would be a restaurant, cafe, shop thing on this train selling snacks and like traditional Romanian, Moldovan food like sausages and cabbage soup and whatever. Really rustic food and lots of alcohol at knock bottom prices. However, on this particular train there's only two carriages. One is this one, which is the sleeper cabins, 2 and 4 bed cabins, and then the other one is like a open bed, like a Russian type, where you've got a full carriage of multiple layers of beds, and that's it. There's no restaurant car or anything. So my food for the rest of today will consist of some pea crisps and some sweet chili hummus, and then 2 bottles of local water, and then that will have to last me until we get to Bucharest at about 6:45 in the morning. But until we get to the border at Ungeni in about an hour and a half-ish, I think I'm just going to sit and eat my crisps and hummus and watch a bit of YouTube. This train apparently has Wi-Fi. It doesn't work, but luckily I've still got some data left on my eSIM for Moldova, and then when we enter Romanian cell signal I can transfer over to my UK phone network, which includes free roaming up to 30 gigs in Romania for no extra cost. So I should be covered as long as we have a signal, that is. If the signal cuts out, I'll be sat staring at that wall because I haven't brought anything to read or anything to do. But we'll see what happens. But until we get to Ungeni, I'm just going to do that, and then we'll pick up again when they start to change the wheels of this train and we get lifted up. taking the train in places like this is probably really the only way you get to see these tiny villages. You would never come here intentionally. So we're now going through a tiny Moldovan village called Siprateni, and then in about 10-15 minutes we'll go through a village or town called Bakhmut. Not the one in Ukraine, the one near the Romanian border here in Moldova. There's not much here, there's just a couple of houses and what looks like some kind of highway, and then a tiny train station. But this is why I like to take the train, because you get to experience things that you would never see. You get to see what local life is like there's a guy playing football, it looks like the local football club. Hello.
Hello. Altanila. Declaration from customs?
I don't have one.
Alcohol?
No.
Cigarettes?
No.
Drugs?
No.
Rackets? Tank?
No. Hello.
Where are you from?
United Kingdom.
How much do you stay in Moldova?
3.
Come in Moldova, came. How you
I
came?
flew from Manchester
Now you came.
and I go to Bucharest, then fly home tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you. So I've got my passport back from the Moldovans, and now we need to give it to the Romanian customs. We're about 30 minutes delayed so far. So we've just crossed the border into Romania. We've now officially left Moldova, and now we have to deal with Romanian customs and passport. So we're just about to go over a bridge called Eiffel Bridge, designed by the guy that designed the Eiffel Tower, that separates Moldova and Romania. So there are police everywhere around this train. We've definitely entered the EU now. They lifted up a gate when the train was coming through and a siren sounded. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
What are you doing in Romania?
I'm flying back to Manchester tomorrow.
Tomorrow you have a plane ticket?
Yeah, I've jumped. You need to see.
You go to Manchester?
Yeah.
What have you done in Moldova?
So I visited Chișinău and
And?
Ohio.
How is it?
It was good.
Is it good? Is it nice?
Yeah.
It's nice now?
Different.
It's different from Germany, from
Very
England.
different. Very different.
And you go directly, no?
Yeah, I
With the-
flew
with-
from Manchester to Chișinău.
Chișinău.
Yeah.
And now you came in Romania. You have a plane ticket, I suppose, no?
I
For
do
Bucharest,
for
no?
for Ryanair.
Okay.
Yep. So finally got my passport back. We've been sat here. Where are we? Ungeni, on the Romanian side, for at least 2 hours. So we're delayed. I've got about 2 and a bit hours leeway when we get to Bucharest to get to the airport in time for what I'm sure will be chaotic security. But I'm gonna get ready for bed, try to get a bit of sleep, and then wake up early in Bucharest if we move anytime soon. See you in Bucharest. Morning. I got absolutely no sleep. The bed seat is actually quite comfortable, but the train was just jumping around all night, slamming the brakes on at train stations, and it was just really noisy. So I didn't get a single minute of sleep. We're about 15 minutes delayed, so we've made up a bit of time overnight. We're due to get into Bucharest North Station in just over an hour's time from now, So I'm gonna get ready and then we'll figure out if we've got enough time to visit one place near the train station before we need to go to the airport. Or we might just have to go straight to the airport now that we're slightly delayed. But we'll see. I'll get ready and we'll see what happens. So we are just pulling into Bucharest North Station. 10 minutes late. But there's one more thing I want to do before I get the train to the airport. It's about a 30-ish minute walk from the station. I should get back in plenty of time for the train to get to the airport in time for the long security queues this morning. So I'm just walking towards the Palace of the Parliament. I wanted to see that before I leave Bucharest. It's about a 30-minute walk from Bucharest North train station. Bucharest feels a lot more edgy than Chișinău did. There's a lot of homeless people, a lot of people on drugs. People standing behind you and just getting really close to you. It feels very different. I know Bucharest is a lot bigger than Chișinău, but yeah, I don't like this. And it's only 7 in the morning. I wouldn't like to see what it's like late at night here. I felt pretty safe in Chișinău. It was run down, yeah, definitely, but here it just feels a bit more unsafe. Well, let's go and see if we can get to the Parliament and see what the world's heaviest building looks like. So behind me is the Parliament here in Bucharest, that huge white building built on the orders of Ceausescu in the 1980s. It weighs over 4 million tons and it cost the equivalent of today's money 4 billion euros to build. It's the 3rd biggest administrative building in the world, after the Pentagon and I think the Parliament of China in Beijing. Well, yeah, I've seen what I wanted to see now. Usually you can go in and just walk around, but not today. There's an event happening or something. So we'll just have to make do with this and then head back to the train station to get the train to the airport. So as I'm heading back along this busy road to Bucharest North Station, there's nothing else to see. Let me sum up the train from Chișinău to Bucharest. It did feel like stepping back in time. It's definitely a Soviet train. Flushing toilets straight onto the tracks. Sleeping on the seat with a mattress pad and a pillow that don't seem to have been washed for probably years. The guards walking around with no tops on, no air conditioning or anything, and the changing of the gauge wheels was a unique experience. I'm glad I did it, and at a cost of just under £50 for a single room. I think it's a good value for money when you compare the flight prices that can be 3 times as expensive, even if they do only take an hour. Would I do it again? Probably not. It's just tedious having to wait for security and border control and everything that took 3-4 hours in total than just being stuck at the border. But it's one of those geeky things that you've just got to do. I hope you enjoyed it. Would you take that train, the Prietenia train, to or from Chișinău and Bucharest? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one from somewhere else in the world. So until then, keep travelling, and goodbye for now. This train station is chaos. It's just so busy and people are just pushing each other out of the way. God knows what the airport's going to be like.